All right, guys, happy Wednesday, November 6th. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff that we should be talking about and are going to be talking about because we have an opportunity. And it's not an opportunity to talk politics. It's not an opportunity to speak about how you feel about how the election went, because at the end of the day, right now, your feelings don't necessarily matter. It's going to be this way for the next 4 years. But what we have to think about is how does this impact our consumers and what opportunities lie in front of us for us to be able to create some very, very strong consumer for the people that were waiting, right? It doesn't matter what side they were on. They were waiting for something to happen to give them even more confidence to move forward. And there's a lot of consumers out there that shared that same exact sentiment. So we're going to get into that in a moment. I'm going to give you guys some thoughts. We're going to break into some groups and we're going to come up with some important dialogue that we need to be having right now post-election. Like I said, I don't care what side of the coin you were on. There's some consumer dialogue that needs to happen right now. And so I want to make sure that we get in front of this, we have this conversation. And so I'm going to turn it over to somebody to bring us out on the field on this beautiful Wednesday morning. That person is going to be Hugo. Hugo's ready. His hair's done. He's up in the office. He's ready to go. So Hugo, without further ado, my man, I'm going to turn the mic over to you and I'm going to have you bring us out on the field on this beautiful Wednesday morning. So Hugo, hit him with it.
Good morning, team. So it's a new day, right? That's a blessing already. Being able to wake up, being able to be here and serve, the people that we have to serve. So let's get after it. It's not too late to, restart or, if you haven't, got into it so far, it's still Wednesday. We can still get back after it. So let's get after it.
That's right, my man. Well, I appreciate you. And we have a couple guests on the line today. We have a few guests that are here, somebody for their very first time. So Ophelia, for our guest that's on the line, her name is Mika. What can she expect from our environment today?
Good morning. What you can expect is to really learn from each other, feed off the vibe here, off the energy, and just get inspired and have some motivation. Now, it's not going to continue. I mean, it's just enough to light you up and to keep you engaged, keep coming back and get more information, just keep showing up.
I appreciate that. And listen, Mika, if you find a sense of motivation or inspiration from this call today, fine, good, but that's not the intention of this. The intention of this is to give you the inspiration and motivation that pushes you to take some type of action in your life and business, right? The motivation is fleeting. You could turn off this Zoom and go right back to bed, right? You can go take a nap. You can go and do nothing. But my thought is if you can do one thing post-call, that's what I want for everybody. So you guys, something big happened yesterday. We have a new president, or a president that's been president before. But like I said, we're not going to turn this into a political talk. What I do want to turn this into is I want to turn this into a conversation about what do we do next. We know that there's been people that are on the sidelines, that are waiting. They're trying to see how this is all going to pan out before they decide to make their move. Were they waiting to purchase a home to see if Kamala's $25,000 down payment assistance was going to go into effect? And if so, when? Should they wait? But at the end of the day, people need to move. People need to buy houses. People have life circumstances, impending events in their life that is causing them to still move forward despite. And so what I wanted to do first and foremost, I wanted to talk to our lender partners and hear from you guys. It might be a little too soon, but the second part of this is I'm going to put everybody in breakout rooms. And so what I want to encourage everyone to do before we go into our breakout rooms, probably do that. I looked at my wrist and I don't have a watch on. We'll probably do that in about 5 minutes. But what I want to do is I want to hear from our lender partners to see, are you guys hearing anything? Is there any rumblings this morning? Like what's going on in the market? And for our agents on the line, have you heard anything this morning? Or any consumers reaching out like, sigh of relief, or shit, that wasn't the route that I was hoping that it would go? Like, what are you guys hearing right now? Then we're going to get into groups and we're going to start formulating what our dialogue needs to be to consumers today, because we need to get in front of this. There's a lot of stuff that consumers are thinking about. So let's just get in front of the conversation. So I'm going to go to Ashley. I'm going to go to Jeff. Are you guys hearing anything? I know it's, the morning after, but I would love to hear from you guys. Your sentiment, your thoughts, what the market is doing, how the market is reacting, or is it too soon to even tell? So let's go Ashley and then we'll go Damian and then we'll go Jeff.
Good morning. So there's still a 100% chance in the futures market that the Fed's going to cut rates as far as the federal funds rate goes tomorrow by 25 basis points. As we know, that doesn't always directly correlate to mortgage rates. And as of now, the opposite is happening. What's happening is a lot of people are flooding to stocks. So usually we're messing with the same dollar, right? So you're either in bonds or you're in stocks. And right now, people are flooding to stocks, which are pulling out of bonds, which are making rates go up. The bond market is down 30 basis points as of about 10 minutes ago when I checked. People are buying more stocks. And so the good news is that we know how to play in this market. When rates are higher, we know what strategies can help our clients win. When it's a slower market, we know what strategies to implement because we've been doing this. Now, long term, what's going to happen? It's really going to depend less on who's the president and what's going on, and more about, is there going to be inflationary policies and what those reports are going to show. And we really need to keep our eyes, just like we have been, on the jobs report, on the GDP reports, and on the inflationary report. And those reports are going to be more influential than anything else.
Beautiful. Well said, as always. Well said. And you guys, while you're here, make sure that you're keeping notes, because maybe there's one thing that you hear that you can go and create a video directly after this call. Let's go to Demian, and then Jeff, you'll be on deck. Demian, let's hear from you. What's your contribution?
Good morning. I went and made a video yesterday about what happens to the real estate market during the election cycle. During the November in an election season, home sales go down 15%. And so those stagnated home sales get pushed out into the next year. So basically, that's my messaging to my clients, is that you might want to act fast, because those people that were on the sidelines, they're going to be back in the market now that the election is over. Like you were saying, people wait for whatever reason during an election, but now they're going to get off the bench, which will cause more competition, especially in competitive markets.
Yeah, well said. Well said. I love it. Jeff, let's go over to you.
Hey, everybody. So, exactly what Ashley said. The initial reaction this morning, for rates at least, is bad. Stock market, good. It's just a risk on. People are taking more risk, and I'm not talking politics, but we got to talk about what happened. So, Trump is more pro-business. So they think that, this is going to help from a risk standpoint for businesses. So people are flooding into the market, taking money out of bonds, which pushes up the yield, pushes down the price. In a longer term view, it's been 12 hours or whatever, so it's hard to say. Now, the one thing that a lot of economists talked about, and that President Trump has talked about in terms of his policies moving forward, is tariffs. We've all heard that, right? If you've watched any of the news, it's tariffs. And, whatever, President Trump says, economists will tell you tariffs are inflationary. It is what it is, So if that is the case, inflation is, the enemy of, lower rates. So, but again, we'll all see what happens. A lot of times, these president, when they're running for office, Harris, Trump, they promise certain things or say certain things, but there's different hurdles to getting those things done. So, we'll see if it ends up being inflationary. We'll see if the tariffs are implemented, and if, what it ends up doing from that standpoint. But just know, in the short term, rates are higher now. As the dust settles and we get, later into this week, this month, later into the fourth quarter, we'll see what happens. To Demian's point, and even Ashley's point, we've been through this. We've done this. We know the opportunity that is in front of us with the seasonality and with maybe some higher rates. It's just going to make it, hopefully, from a price point standpoint, give buyers an opportunity to get into homes that maybe they weren't able to get into previously. But it has created some uncertainty in the markets and uncertainty from an interest rate perspective. So honestly, just one foot in front of the other. Keep your head down. Keep doing your job. Keep doing all the things that you guys are great at. We can't control what happens. We can only control how we react to what happens, and taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. God, I love this, Jeff. Really, really well said. You have to think about this. I always will tell you this throughout the year, throughout the change, everything that we do, our messaging is always oscillating, right? Based on what's happening in the times, what's happening in the news, what's happening with interest rates, what's happening with the pandemic, what's happening with the settlement, right? We're always oscillating through what our marketing campaign is going to be and what the messaging is to a consumer. So right now, here's what I want you to think about. It is one day post-election, right? This happened last night. So what is the correspondence that you're going to be sending out to your consumers right now? And if you're on the team, this applies to you. And if you're not on the team, some of this will apply to you as well. But you have the flex pawn. Now, don't go and spam our pawn. You have the seller pawn, if you're a part of that. You have the chime pawn that has over 5,000 leads in it. You have leads that you have met through your door knocking campaigns, through your social media campaigns, open houses, so on and so forth, and seller leads that maybe you have purchased. In that bucket of leads, there are people out there that have been waiting for whatever reason. So my question to everybody on this call today is, what are you going to do about it today? Right? Are you going to send a message out to your database? Are you going to send a video to them? Are you going to do some type of outreach to them to have a generalized message about what to do next? Right? And if you're struggling with that, and if you don't know that, my hope is that this call right now is going to give you the thoughts and the ideas to take some type of action. And listen, I don't care if you have 5 people in your database or if you have 5,000 people in your database. This message needs to be sent out. And so here's what I want to do. I want everybody that has ChatGPT 4 or ChatGPT, whatever version you have, to open up your ChatGPT, because I'm going to put you guys in breakout rooms in a second. Everybody by this point has been able to use ChatGPT in some form or fashion. And by doing that, it is starting to know exactly how you like to communicate if you are using it consistently and you're talking to it and you're training it and you're telling it how you want it to produce information for you. So I created a simple prompt today, and I'm going to share that prompt with you, and I'm going to put it in the chat down below. That way you guys can see this. All right, so let's go here. I'm going to go there. Ophelia, can you see my screen? Just give me a thumbs up if you could see my screen. All right, cool. So I wrote here something very simple. Now, when I put you in your breakout rooms, if you want to go a little bit further on this information, please do so. It is up to you. Create me 3 emails to send to clients who were waiting to purchase or buy real estate until after the election. Use historical data about the state of the market post-election, right? And here's 3 sample emails to clients. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to look at some of these, and I'll just read one of these. No, actually, I like the last one a little bit better. Okay, so here's your subject line. Ready to make your real estate move. Here's what to know. Here's what to know post-election. Promise you guys right now, there are consumers out there thinking, what do I do post-election? Hey, Tom, with the election behind us, I want to reach out to you and share some insights about the real estate market moving forward. Historically, we've seen post-election markets often experience a renewed sense of confidence and increased activity as uncertainty fades and buyers and sellers re-enter the market. For those who waited, there may be unique opportunities now, whether it's securing favorable pricing or getting a jump on properties before market conditions shift, because they have not shifted yet. I'd love to walk you through the recent trends and explore how we can use them to your advantage. Please feel free to reach out so we can set up a time to discuss your goals. I'm here to support you every step of the way. Warm regards, Elias Astuto. Now, this is my ChatGPT. I want you guys to go in and I want you guys to create your own prompt. Do it based on my prompt that I created, or use an iteration of your own. And I'm going to go ahead and copy mine. That way you can just use it if you just need one. So here it is. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it right in the chat. That way you guys have it, so there's no excuses. Paste this, boom. And if you're driving, then you just participate in the conversation. So I just put that prompt in the chat. Now, here's what I want to do is I'm going to break you guys into breakout rooms. I want you to put this in your ChatGPT, and I want you to start sharing what it's coming up with. And I want you to highlight what you believe is going to be the best correspondence for you. I want you guys to share with each other. I want you guys to send that stuff to each other if it's something that's really fire. And I want us to get in front of this. And as soon as we're done with the call, I want you to go into your database and I want you to start emailing people, sending the messaging out, creating a quick video, posting a video on social media, whatever it is. I want you guys to take action. Before we go there, let me pause. Anybody have any questions about this exercise before we move forward? Please raise your hand, speak now, or forever hold your peace. Anybody? Are we straight? Are we good? All right, cool. Listen, I want everyone's participation on this. Create your ChatGPT prompt that is going to speak about pre-election, telling it to use historical data about the impacts of the real estate market from the election, all that good stuff. You create the prompt or use the one that I've created for you. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to share your notes because everyone's will be probably similar, but if you've trained your ChatGPT, it's going to talk in a way that you communicate. So I'm curious to see what you guys come up with. Have some fun with this, but there needs to be an understanding that we need to get in front of this dialogue right now, and we need to be the ones that are saying, hey, it's post-election. Here's what you need to know, and here's how the journey in the next couple months is going to look. I'm here to help you, serve you, and be an advocate for you in your corner. All right? Make sense? All right, cool. Let's do this. I'm going to put everybody into breakout rooms. And I'm going to assign how many people we have here. All right, almost 50 people. So let's do, I'm gonna do 8 breakout rooms, assign automatically. All right, cool. Everybody is assigned to a breakout room. Now, if you are here right now and you are just listening to this in the background and you're doing something else and you're in the waiting room for more than a minute and not us going to your breakout room, I'm just gonna kick you out of the group. So I'm gonna open up all the rooms right now. And on 3, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. All right, cool, you guys. We'll let everybody get back in. Within 60 seconds, everybody will be back in. And Jessica, congratulations. Okay, congratulations. I'm a cat dad.
Thank you. She's so sweet. I love her so much. But I don't really know much about cats, so
Cats need a kitty litter. They need a cat box. Okay. They need food. They need water. And they need you just to let them live their lives. Okay? Cat.
I want to cuddle her.
Yeah, well, some may not want that. They may not want. Okay, I have a cat that is a touch me not, but she'll lay next to me every single night. And then we have another fat cat that loves to be pet. So cats are the most independent creatures on earth. I love them. Absolutely love them. So congratulations.
Thank you. She's on my laptop now.
I'll send you a video. My cat was literally eating a mouse the other day. Just ate it, punched it.
Oh, no.
The whole thing. The tail was right at the end, and she's. Yeah. Anyways.
No, I hate mice. No.
Yeah, she's a hunter still. You know, they're felines. All right, guys, let's give it one more second to make sure everybody is back. All right, cool. So I have chose some representatives from each group, and they leave presents. Yeah, get her spayed as soon as you can. But just train her to use the cat box. They're really easy. But anyways, let's go, Jessica. Room 1. What were some things that you heard from your room? And was there something from your prompt that was different from what I shared? Kind of share with me what you're going to be sending out to consumers today.
Yeah, so I was driving. I couldn't do the prompt, but something that they shared was Evangeline said that she customized she customized her specific to the Bay Area. And then she added a statistic. So she had ChatGPT add a statistic. And then Ophelia mentioned that it would also be nice to have one customized for buyers and then one specifically for sellers.
Oh, I love this. Okay, cool. So Evangeline, if you can, drop your prompt in the chat down below. Ophelia, if you have a prompt as well, drop that prompt down below. Because what I want to do is I want to make sure that everybody has the right formula. And if not, then at least just jack what everybody else has done and make it fit your own. So Jessica, what is the one thing that you're going to do today post-election to reach out to your database? Are you sending a video? Are you sending a text? Are you doing an email? Or are you doing all of?
I'm going to do an email.
All right, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Well, if you can, CC me on it or just send it to me so I can see it as well. That we can use it for future sessions. Let's go, Oliver, room 2. You're a representative from that room. Tell me a little bit about what you heard, what you're going to use, what's your communication post-election now?
Yeah, so in our room, they were all kind of similar, but they're crafted to our way, which I think is pretty great. Anto's was very good. I also read a few of mine that were very good. And then we spoke with Jeff, and Jeff was, telling us a little bit more on his side of it, right? Since he's in the mortgage side. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I like the first one actually that I got, and I'm going to do an email to, to everybody that's in my database.
What was the one that you liked? I'm going to give you share screen rights if you want to share, or just read it out to us.
I have it on my phone. I could read it.
Let's go.
I have it on my phone. I could read it.
Let's go.
I could read it. Okay, so the subject is post-election update. Great time to revisit your real estate goals. Hello. I hope this message finds you well. Now that the election is behind us, many clients like yourself are reconsidering their real estate goals. Historically, the market tends to see a surge in activity following elections, with buyers and sellers who were holding off re-engaging with their plans. This could mean more opportunities and options for you. I'd love to catch up and discuss how the current market could align with your goals. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring, I'm here to provide insight and guidance. Let me know a time that works for you, and let's talk about what's next.
Ooh, I love this. And what prompt did you use? The one that I gave you earlier?
Yes.
Ooh, I love this. I love this. And Judith, do me a favor. If you see any additional prompts, including the one that I made, just highlight those, copy those, and put those in a Word document and send it to me in Slack, because I'm going to send it out to everybody. But Oliver, this sounds really good. And here's what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm thinking. Everything that you just read from that email, I think that serves as a really powerful video as well. Hey guys, it's post-election. I want to give you a quick update if you've been thinking on sidelines, whatever that is. Here's what the reality is right now, and here's what you can be looking out for in the market. I'm here to answer any questions. Just want to give you a really quick update. Let me know if you have any questions. Like, I think that this stuff serves as an amazing email, but also serves as an amazing text message and video campaign as well. So I want to encourage everybody, push everybody to do both, or to do, to do an email as well as a video. Let's go, Christina Macias, your representative from room 3. Let's hear from you. What'd you hear, and what are you going to do today?
I heard just a couple things. I was on my walk, so I couldn't do it for myself. But a few takeaways that I had was just adding things that I have noticed my chat GPT is already including, like when it suggests add call to action at the end. So just some simple little things that I can add. And I currently don't have a big history with chat GPT. So when I tell it to sound like me, I was trying it out just a few minutes ago, it still sounds very robotic. So I'm still working on adding those keywords, and Ashley had a lot of really good feedback. So thanks to Ashley for sharing, just like little things to include that would make it a lot more personal. So I'm going to attempt to play with it a little bit more and see if I can get something that sounds a little bit more like me and less like robotic and super duper professional.
Okay, cool. So you want to make sure it comes from your voice, and that's the whole idea behind this, is like really training it to make sure that it's speaking like you. And I'll give you guys some advice here in a moment to make it even better for you. But good stuff, Christina. And Christina, what's the one thing that you're going to do today post-election? Is it send an email, text, video? Tell me the one thing that you're going to do today, the one big thing.
An email. I think I want to just get an email that sounds really personal that I could send out, because I haven't got a lot of response from my emails. So I'm hoping that this one can maybe have a better response rate.
All right. So I'm going to encourage you to do a video email, and then you can put all the text, but then do a intro video as well inside of that email, and tell me what the response rates are that way.
Okay, will do. Thanks.
All right. Chris B, representative from room 4. Let me hear what you heard. You've been in the game a lot longer than everybody on this call. What'd you hear? And what's the one big thing that you're going to do today to reach out to your consumers? Let's hear from you, Chris Barcenas. Chris, you're muted, big dog.
So everybody was in agreement to, use the post-election news, not as a proposal, but just to state the facts that now that the elections are behind us, a lot of people were on the sidelines get to know what exactly is going to happen, so they could strategize their next real estate move regarding who president is and the local propositions that are being passed. So now that that's happening, we come back to the fact that during the last 8 elections, only 2008 was the only year that the market went down. So, and to take action now, because the general consensus of rates are going to drop, and we still have high demand. So take action before the winter, before the springtime, before demand starts happening again.
Man, I love this. And you said a key word here, you guys, strategize. I think that word needs to be in your vocabulary, whether it's written or spoken. You guys need to have that in your flow, because this is the time where you're really going to strategize, because all these people that were waiting or just wanted to see what happens. Now, what's going to happen is the market's going to adjust over the next couple months. If you can get somebody in right now before this wave comes, and of course, the wave of the new year, you guys, it's a really ideal time. But you're either going to do something about it today or you're going to wait and drag your feet and miss this opportunity. It's just like, oh shit, I didn't send out my New Year's post. I didn't send out my Christmas post. I didn't send out my Thanksgiving post. Capitalize on the moment, or you're going to look back and be like, damn it, that was a missed opportunity. Missed opportunity. So Chris, love your insight, love your contribution. Let's go to Ilona, room 5. You are the representative from that group. What'd you hear? And what's the one big thing that you're going to implement for your consumer dialogue today? And you're muted as well. Ilona going once. Ilona
Yes,
going
hi.
there she is.
I couldn't find the mute button. So something that I think we talked about, we did we all put the prompt into ChatGPT, but the one thing that came out and something that I still believe is something that's worth examining is I personally think it's too soon.
Okay.
I think it's too soon to send an email. I think that there are people who are still processing what is going on, and respectively, we are in a blue state. Whatever you think it is, our clients are coming from a blue state. And I think that there needs to be just a little more time to allow people to process their emotions before we start talking about how to spend your money or what's next. But I do think that we did talk about maybe like Friday would be a good day to revisit, like just a couple days to let people settle. I'm not talking about waiting a week, but I am talking about waiting a couple days to really let people's emotional stuff settle a little bit. And then maybe our message will be heard better than just another, oh my God, I don't want to look at this email.
Yeah.
I talk about this email. I don't want to think about this email because I have lots of friends that are having lots of emotional things going on right now. And when I think about our market, we all work with California. This might be something that's important to have a little sensitivity around for now.
Yeah. God, you know what? This is why we do group coaching, you guys. This is why we do group coaching. This is all about seeing it through your guys' lenses, getting different perspectives, sharing in this collective wisdom. And you are right, 100% right, that we are a blue state. When you looked at the chart yesterday, everything on the news, like we're a blue state. And it makes sense that there's people, and I think Andrea just put it, there's people that are really mourning today. And I get that and I respect that. And so if that's how you feel, either way is as long as it's coming from the place where I truly care, then do whatever suits you. And if waiting until Friday or Saturday or whatever date you want, like I get that. And I totally understand that and I respect that. And I think you got a really strong point there. And it's a valid point. Absolutely 100%. So yeah, and that comes from a point of empathy. So good stuff. And I'm so glad that you brought that up. Really good contribution. Let's go, Brianna, Chicken Mom. You're going to be the next representative from room 6. Anything that you heard, any additional, contributions on the subject, and what are you going to do? Chicken Mom, go ahead.
I was driving, so I didn't get to put the prompts in, but Morgan texted them to me. Our chat GPTs were all kind of coming out with the same thing. Definitely need to train and set the settings up in chat GPT. I personally am also going to wait because what she just said, I feel that that's true. A lot of people are kind of going to be in a mourning state and it might be a little too soon. So I will probably send something out on Friday and work on my chat GPT.
You know what? I appreciate this, you guys, and I appreciate the heart and the thought behind this, and really good stuff. I'm so sorry to see this. It looks like somebody's door got vandalized. I don't know what that is. I guess I would need more context, but what is that, Christina?
Yeah, that's my neighbor's front door. So literally somebody came this morning for whatever reason, threw a brick and broke their front door.
Jeez.
So it's just like there's a lot going on. I feel like, especially here in Oakland, there's just a lot of emotions. This is a very culture-rich city. So it does. This morning was definitely felt different. Just wanted to share that.
God, you know what? I really appreciate your guys' thoughts on this, your heart, your empathy, and really looking at this from an empathetic lens. I appreciate the contribution, and so sorry to hear this from your neighbors. It's unfortunate that the people out there that are opportunistic or want to be negative or violent in a time like this. At the end of the day, this is when we need to unify. Right. I know that there's always going to be some level of separation, but I believe that this is a time where we need to be peaceful and unify no matter what, and respect other people. And so it's unfortunate. Sorry to hear that about your neighbors. Let's go to Ricky. Ricky, room 7. Let's hear your thoughts, contribution, anything that you heard that you may want to use today, tomorrow, the next day, whenever it is. Ricky Johnson, let's go to you. And congratulations on being story of the week yesterday. Let's hear from you, Ricky. Ricky going once, Ricky going twice. All right, cool. We'll move on. And then last but not least, Blessing. Let's hear your contributions. You were room 8. I want to hear your thoughts, insight, and contributions on the conversation.
Yeah, so between Gloria and Brandy and I, my prompt gave us one for buyers, one for sellers, and one for both. And we did notice that with the prompt that you sent, my GPT, Chat GPT, did not give any stats, and I think that that's something that would definitely add some value or some perspective, just a little bit more validity to the prompt, to the email template. But the templates, although that they were very similar, it's an email that we can actually send out just about every year, because it was talking about inventory being more available because buyers and sellers who had been on the sideline can move forward decisively. Well, we know that anyone who decides to list their house during the holidays is very motivated. So just being able to take that point and understand that this is when serious buyers and sellers can move forward without the level of uncertainty of an election, but just capitalize on this time when everyone's much more focused on, let's get a deal done, let's move on to the next chapter, because for whatever reason that they're selling in this particular time of year, it's important. So this is something where if we build it in annually, it doesn't necessarily have to come just post-election, but sending it now to say, you guys wanted to wait, the uncertainty is moving out of the way, although not completely clear. Here's some information, I'm happy to help. And that's a line that I didn't realize that my Chat GPT had picked up from me, is that I do include in all of my communication, I'm happy to help. So it does take consistently using it for it to pick up on your words and your nuances.
Yeah, God, good stuff. Really, really good stuff. So you guys, I appreciate all the contributions, and whether or not you want to wait or do this now, whatever, feels best for you and your heart and soul, then do that. At the end of the day, we do have a responsibility as public figures to at least have this conversation, because what's happening is that consumers are thinking right now, and they're feeling, and they're going through their emotions, celebrating or they're mourning. Right. So it is important that at some time we get in front of this conversation. Now, I've done this before, and I'm going to do this one more time for everybody. If you are wanting to make this feel a little bit more like you, then all I want you to do is I want you to put this prompt into your Chat GPT. And this will allow you to start giving it custom instructions or customization of how you want your future interactions. I'm not going to spend the whole time on a ChatGPT lesson, but ask me questions to help you better understand me and my business so you can provide better responses. My answers to your questions will serve as my custom instructions on my account for future interactions. And then you answer all the questions. And then what you do, once you answer all those questions, you go into this little thing here, this circle, and then customize ChatGPT, and you put all of your responses there, and you tell it how you would like to respond to you, and you save that shit. Now, when you communicate with it and you ask it to do things for you, it's more in alignment with how you want to communicate. And Christina, if you want to reach out to me offline and I could just give you that, and you want some help with that, just let me know. I'm here for support. So you guys, really good session. And always on Wednesdays, we're going to talk about the market, but it just the timing of it seemed ideal for us to have this conversation. So I want to go around the room and hear from a couple people that are on the line today, some thoughts and takeaways that are people that are new to this environment. Let's go to Kyrell. Kyrell, officially welcome to the team, my man. I want to hear from you. What's one takeaway from our time together today?
I appreciate everything. Just from listening in and going on to the breakout room, A little bit of feedback that I have is, and things that I've learned, was how to approach it, just to, you know, be a little bit more sensitive to opening to other people's feelings and things like that. I definitely think that, you know, waiting a couple days is a smart idea. Uh, I noticed it just from coming across a couple people that I've run across this morning. You know, first thing that came out their mouth was, you know, about the election and things like that. So that's a couple things that I'm definitely going to take and run with it.
Good, man. Well, I appreciate you and welcome. Thanks for being here. Let's go, Brandy. You had a key takeaway. Let's hear from you.
Okay, this was just a little thought after like hearing everyone. And it's funny because before we went into the breakout rooms, as you were talking, Elias, I had told my daughter, she was in the car, I was like, I think I might wait a couple days. So it was funny to hear that same rhythm. But then the more I thought about it, so this is just, I don't know, see if anyone takes this away. The more I thought about it, I was like, And instead of waiting a couple of days, because look at how many now of us have said, oh, we're going to wait a couple of days. So what happens to those consumers that are sitting there and nobody reached out to them and they're waiting for just that little positivity, that little encouragement? And it doesn't have to be anything about like sales or anything. What about just like some comfort? Because coming from somebody that has experienced major grief, I will tell you, silence was the ultimate killer in grief and mourning, whatever you go through. It would have just been nice to have somebody like text me, I don't know, hey, sunshine, like something totally random off subject. And that's what we can provide for our consumers. Because if we're coming in as not just real estate agents for the transaction, somebody that's building that relationship with the consumers, they are the ones that are really either ready or not ready to buy, but are grasping that like mourning or that shock of praise or whatever side of however they're feeling. They're going to appreciate that slow rhythm. And then you can come in with your, you know, email of statistics and data and encouragement. So just a little twist on that thought, because I had to kind of reframe it in my mind too. Like, why are we going to stay silent? Because look at how many of us were like, oh, and for those that are like, no, I'm going to go all in, like, let's just take a moment, because we're also coming from a place of our feeling of how we think our consumers might be feeling. And when all actuality, just pause for a moment and just be that person. Don't be average.
Yeah,
just be there.
I really, really appreciate your angle on this, because remember what we said yesterday. If I'm going to do something, or last week, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to put my soul into it. And I want you to stay there for a minute on that messaging, that if I come across in a very empathetic way, but also sharing with them, hey, I'm here to answer any of your questions and be an advocate for you, no matter which side you're on, like that might be the call that somebody needed to hear, or the message that they needed to receive. Now, if it comes from a place of empathy and soul, then it will be well received. If it is empty and there was no depth in it, then it will be treated as such. And so I think that messaging, especially coming from a person that has dealt with grief on her own very personal level, I think that was a really, really, great contribution. So thank you, Brandy. And you are a sunshine in our lives. And thank you for all the light that you shine in our life. So appreciate you. Let's go to one last contribution, and then we'll start to wrap session. Let's go to Andrea Roberson. One key thought and takeaway from our time together today.
I think for me, my key thought is I tend to want to focus on my sphere. My sphere hasn't brought me business actually, but I think about all of my friends and family members that are hurting today. It was a tough election, I think, for a lot of people that I'm very close to. So I do want to send out, really, like Brandy said, just comfort. How are you feeling? Simple things. I don't even want to talk about real estate. I just want to check in, right? And I want to build those relationships, because at the end of the day, no matter what business I'm doing, whatever I'm doing at work, those relationships not only help me with business, but they help me with my own troubles and my own mental issues with how I'm feeling. So I think for me, that is my key focus. I have several buyers that have came yesterday for some reason, very active on my real scale, really active, calling me about properties because things are changing in the market and they see a light because of the election. So I don't want to play on the fact that let's talk about real estate, but I do also want to check in with them and say, hey, I know things have changed. I don't know what side you're on, but I just want to know, hey, I'm here as your agent and you can talk to me about anything. And I think that is my key takeaway.
Wow, you guys, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. That I am super, super grateful for all of your guys' thoughts, empathy, vantage points, and how you're going to look at this as an opportunity to be human and to reach out, to be there for people, but also to be an advocate, because that's why we're in our roles. And there's a lot of uncertainty right now. And there's hope, there's despair, everything, right? But them hearing from you is not going to hurt, and it's only going to help us build those bonds and those relationships. So really, really good session. Hopefully you found this effective. I'm going to go to Mel. Mel, I'm going to have you just close us out, one key thought and one key takeaway, and then have you close this out. Let's go, Mel.
Man, you know what? I didn't know how this conversation was gonna end like today. I'm not a political person. I'm just not. I don't follow politics. I like unsubscribe from every news channel. I don't watch the news and I don't talk about politics or religion with my clients. Like, it's just a big no-no. Though those two things are like not even areas that I dabble in with clients. But it's just so interesting to hear everybody's perspective. And it's definitely, for me, I'm going to take heart and I'm going to take a step back and I just need to make sure that I digest this. Overall, I think that communication has to be had. Regardless of where you stand, if you're red or blue, right or left, it doesn't matter. We should be touching our clients no matter what. And at the end of the day, guess what, you guys? This is just really good content. Like it, and you don't even have to have a standpoint. Like, you could just be checking in. You could just be that sense of motivation or inspiration for somebody, and use this momentum, use whatever is trending right now, which the elections are trending, to be able to make some sort of content about it. And you don't even need to have like a stance, but you could have a just some sort of like an opinion, or what Ashley just threw in the chat. I'm sending this to clients in California that may have feelings about the election. They could be sad or upset or happy. So I just want to make sure I have empathy when delivering this email with soul. I just copied that and I threw it up in my Trello board because I'm definitely going to use something along those lines. It's very neutral. And I think, why not use this opportunity to touch our database, to touch our clients, to touch our sphere. And, but I can really understand both sides, like what Ilona was saying earlier about how, a lot of people are pissed off. A lot of people are mourning. I think we have to be super mindful about that. So, let's just wrap this up by saying, like, use this as content at the end of the day, if nothing else.
Totally. You guys, really, really great session today. Thank you guys for staying with us 2 minutes longer. I love your guys' vantage point. I love your heart. I love the empathy. I love that you're looking at this from a business lens and everything that encompasses this. So great session today, you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being human. Thanks for being who you are. As always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and go out there and make this an amazing day. Peace.